At this stage, we're talking about Scottish whiskey. We all know that there's 5 different regions and different characteristics. So what do you define these 5 different regions? What is your preferences, or you think they have the special characteristic of the region?
Sure.
What makes them so different?
So my advice on the Scottish regions would be don't get too caught up with it. There are 5 legal regions: Lowlands, Speyside, Highlands, Campbelltown and Islay. Some people add a 6th, which would be the Islands. Historically, they were somewhat useful. And do bear in mind that Speyside is part of the Highlands, and sometimes you get bottles that say a Highlands whiskey, but it is from Speyside, so you need to do your research. Historically, they could have been useful in the sense that you would assume that Islay whiskey was all peated. It would all be coastally peated. You'd think that the Lowlands would be gentle and grassy. Nowadays, I would argue that that is less and less the case. So if you're going to make an assumption about something, so an Islay whiskey, you'd say, oh, it's going to be really coastally peated. Yeah, a lot of them. Lagavulin, Ardbeg, Lefroy, Port Charlotte from Bruichladdich. But equally, a lot aren't. Unpeated Bunnahabhain, unpeated Bruichladdich. There's lots of different styles in lots of different regions. So I wouldn't use it as a gospel that, you know, if you like one thing, that the whole region is like that. It used to be more of a case 100 odd years ago. Now those barriers are breaking down. So if you're going to look at it on the whole, you could say Islay peat, Campbelltown, lighter peated, but with what you might describe as like an oily funk. Highlands, a very traditional, thick, what you might think as old school traditional Scotch. Speyside, sweet, honeyed, maybe sherried, and then Lowlands, that light grassy style. But as I said, guys, I honestly would not let I wouldn't get too caught up in the regions. It's good to understand their historical underpinning, but in terms of selecting your whiskies nowadays, it's much broader than that. So I would select by the styles, particularly the cask types, the distilleries that you like, and then also the ABV. Some people like drinking whiskey that's super strong, cask strength. It can be over 60%. Other people like it a little bit cooled down, you know, 40, 43, 46. So there's lots of different ways that you can look at whiskey to decide what you like and what different styles are there. But just be aware that in any of these things, one size doesn't fit all.